What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be showing you guys a modification and kind of a maintenance piece on the 3rd gen Tacoma that tend to fail with some lift added to the truck. And this modification here is going to be called the ECGS Bushing replacement. So the 3rd gen Tacomas, they come with a needle bearing that is installed on the driver's side inner axle, and that part tends to fail and creates a humming and slight vibration noise when it fails and the needles break off inside there. So what we're going to do is we're going to install a bushing that was created to replace the needle bearing, and this one has just a solid piece in the inside of it, and you guys will see this in just a little bit. But this here will prevent that hum and noise when that part fails. So generally what we like to do is we like to tell people, when you guys are doing a lift, just do this as well, because we're already in there and it's a lot easier to do it when we're already doing a lift. So might as well do it all together, and it's a super cheap part, so it doesn't really cost much to do it, and it prevents you from having to do it later down the road, and it's going to cost a little more because everything has to get pulled off again anyways. So if you guys are planning to do a lift kit on your truck, think about doing the ECGS bushing as well as a preventative part for later down the road. So we have this Tacoma on the lift here. This is a 2020, I believe, and this truck has about almost 50,000 miles on it, and we're going to be replacing the bushing, or the needle bearing with the bushing. We're also going to be replacing the axle seal, since we're in there and it has this many miles on it, just to just play it safe. So let's go ahead and get started. So we got the Tacoma up in the air here, and this is where we are looking at here. So we have our coilover or stock front strut, and then our axle is right here, and then right in here is where you're going to find the needle bearing. So we're going to pull the axle out and we'll show you guys what that looks like back there. So we got the spindle pulled off to the side here, getting ready to pull the axle out.
One try.
And luckily, it took us one try to pop it out. So with the axle all the way out, I can show you guys what it looks like in there. And way in there, you guys can see those long needle bearings in there. And most of the time, those tend to break, and you can see little parts of it broken inside. But luckily, this one doesn't look broken yet. We didn't hear any noises or anything like that, so it should be good. But let's pull it out and show you guys what it looks like. So there's a special tool to pull that out, and we got the head fed in there. So what we're going to do now is going to use that and pull out the bearing. All right, so we got the needle bearing, factory needle bearing, pulled out. So here's what it looks like on the inside, just a bunch of these long needle bearings in there. And usually what happens after a lift is that these guys are under more pressure, so they tend to break and cause a humming and a slight vibration when you guys are in 2-0 drive. So these are super easy to replace, as you guys can see there. And this right here is the new one, and you guys can see there is no bearings at all. It's just one solid piece. So this has a lot higher chance of not failing. The outside is the exact same, and this is a super cheap, easy fix if you guys have that issue. Generally, I tell people just to replace this when they do a lift, or even, you know, even if you already have a lift, it's super easy to do. Pull the axle out, get that replaced. And usually, like I said before, these are broken inside, but this one here has not been broken at all. This vehicle does have almost 50,000 miles, so what we're going to do as well is we're going to be replacing the axle seal. The rubber on these seals tend to deteriorate after some time and use, especially when you guys pull this out. Sometimes this gets damaged as well, but we're just going to go ahead and replace it with this new seal and make sure everything is good to go. So now let's get this back in there. And then to install the new bearing, there is a special tool as well to make sure it goes in flush and it doesn't damage the bearing. And generally you just tap it all the way in until you hear it hit the end. So there we have the new bearing installed. And then you guys can see back there, we put a little bit of plastic material in the very back there, so that way nothing falls into the actual diff. So now we are ready to put everything back together. We got the new seal installed there. And now that we've got that in there, we did lose a little bit of gear oil. What we're going to do is we're going to pull that fill plug right there. After we put the axle back in, fill that up, that way it just is topped off, that way we have enough gear oil in there to lubricate the axle in there. Then we'll be all done. Okay, we got everything put back together. We just need to put the nut back on and everything, button everything up, and this thing will be ready to go. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.